We are now absolutely privileged to be joined by the great Teddy Atlas. I don't get starstruck that often, but Teddy Atlas is in the building, folks. And I got to ask you, there are a lot of challenging components to this fight for Jon Jones. The layoff, what kind of challenge is that?
Well, you know, not always can you point to an Exhibit A. We have an Exhibit A you can point to in my business, Muhammad Ali. That's the one name that was missing from that great piece that was there. And I was thinking, when is Ali going to show up? Because if you remember, he was off similar amount of time, 3.5 years, because he was forced out because his refusal to go into the Army during the Vietnam War because of religious beliefs. And so he missed 3.5 years. And then he came back and he fought Joe Frazier, and he lost. And he wasn't the same fighter. He was never going to be the same fighter. The thing, he still had the greatness of his belief, his in-ring character, but some of his skills, quite frankly, were eroded. The speed wasn't the same. The elusive ability was not the same. Those things were diminished. And Ali had 2 tune-ups in a short, condensed period of time. And he still wasn't able to beat a top guy at that time. So is he going to be affected? He's great. But is he going to be, is that greatness going to be affected? I would say, again, from Exhibit A, yes, he will. But to what degree, and to what degree will he overcome that? As far as the punching power, you know, punches, I always say this, punches are born, they're not made. And if you have the power, you can carry it. And as far as putting the weight on, another guy that did it, Michael Spinks, light heavyweight. But you guys don't think about boxing that much.
We got a little mixed martial arts bias. You're right.
A little bit. Just a little bit. Where's the love for boxing?
That's right.
Thank you for allowing this boxing primate to come on here. But Michael Spinks was fighting Larry Holmes, and he went to a nutritionist. He went through, you know, the same things Jon Jones is doing to put the weight on appropriately, and it worked. But he wasn't dealing with the other half of it, being off for 3 years as Jon Jones is. I think mentally, that's 75% of it. Jones is a champion inside.
No doubt.
That mentally, with the mental toughness, with that part of it, he's going to be okay because he doesn't believe anyone could beat him. You know, that's supreme confidence. Very few people have that. But his body might talk back to him a little bit. You know, as far as the assets that he's been so used to having.
Quickly, I know on the front end of these fights, sometimes we speculate. It's informed speculation, but we are speculating. Jon Jones suggests that despite the extra 30 pounds, he still moves like a light heavyweight. Any insight as to how you think he might look moving around footwork-wise at 250 pounds?
Again, Muhammad Ali was not as fleet. Ali was one of the fleetest fighters, most agile fighters ever. And he wasn't that guy anymore. And that was without putting extra weight on. It's going to be difficult, in my opinion, for Jon Jones not to be dissipated in that area. And I had one thing. Muhammad Ali, what he had in common with Jon Jones, besides being undefeated, I know Jones has had loss, but most people think he's undefeated. He had the DQ loss. The same thing, the same mind frame and everything else, but they were great athletes. Ali was just a different athlete. That athleticism was hurt. It was taken away from, to a certain extent, diminished with the time off. And I would find it hard to believe that Jon Jones could be the same athlete when he gets in. But the great ones have a way. They have a way of just reaching up and saying, give me that greatness.
So most fighters, most talking heads believe Jon Jones to be the greatest of all time, whether it's rooted in the title fight wins, the strength of schedule. You've shared the octagon with him. Do you believe him to be the greatest of all time? And if so, how come?
I do. I do think Jon Jones is the greatest of all time. I think for a bunch of different reasons, but first and foremost, the strength of schedule. As much as respect as I have for everyone that he's beaten, he's done it in 3 different eras. He's done it with the guys that came before him, the guys in his own era, and then he's beating the guys that are coming up behind him. Your Dominic Reyes, myself, Thiago Santos, and just the way that he did it, especially early. I think that he was dismantling people very, very early. I think that he changed the game in the way that we approach it. I think the guys were going into gyms after Jon Jones would fight, trying the same moves that they seen him do on Saturday night. So, I do still hold Jon just above GSP for the greatest of all time.
Rashad, what makes him so difficult to fight?
You know, going against Jon Jones, one thing that was so hard for me to fight was it was so hard for me to get my timing. The timing that I had, it was very hard because he made me fight out of my timing because the way he approached the fight. One thing you can see right here in this illustration is watch him establish the reach. In this reach, he's completely desensitizing me for going in right now. Now I'm throwing kicks right now, and I'm like 2 feet away. He's made a read on the reach. Now he goes in with the elbows. Now these elbows come one after another once he's got me reaching for his hands. And I'm in big trouble at this point because now I don't know. I don't have a safety spot. So look again, you see the range right here. 5 feet away, but he can cover that distance, and then he comes up the middle. So I'm danged if I do, danged if I don't. But watch how Dominic Reyes flips it. He does not engage at all with the hand. He rescinds the invitation, get off me, get off me. And then watch him go right away. And then he's gonna move off to an angle, and then boom, land a kick. So he's able to circle Jon into his activity, and that's something he's able to do with nice lateral movement.
Got a lot of skills, got a lot of size. He's bringing it up to heavyweight. And let's talk a little bit about the size, right? Because in terms of the aesthetic, some people have suggested that Ciryl Gane looks a lot better physically at 250 pounds than Jon Jones at 248 pounds. Anthony, your thoughts on the aesthetic and if we should lean into it at all?
You know, I've been trying to not make a big deal of it. Just personally, to personalize it to me, there's been times where I've been out for a little while. I put on some extra weight. I go into training camp, and I just don't quite have enough time to burn the extra belly fat that you get. But I'm in fantastic shape. I'm strong. I'm fast. I'm thinking that that's probably some of the issues that Jon is dealing with. He hasn't had enough time to really shred himself out.
I think it's very indicative of how he's going to fight. He's going to be a hoss in his fight. He's going to do the takedown. He's going to use a lot of brute force. So I think that's why he's kind of built like that, because he's not in that endurance type lifting a lot of weights kind of thing, you know?
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.